that might be beneficial. Let's welcome Chuck Dodge.
Thank you, Mr. Stand-in President. The journey and the destination. First of all, it's not my intent this evening to lead you to my wisdom and to accept it, but to lead you to the doorstep of your own wisdom. And earlier, when Paul was here, he was talking about the founding fathers and the pioneering that they did and putting their lives on the line. And their destination was, look, they either hang together or they're going to hang separately. So for the next few minutes, let's take a look at some journeys and destinations. And one of the stories that I'll share with you is a former fellow member, Bob Heft. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Bob, he is the designer of the 50-star flag as we know it today. And on July 4th, it's the 50th anniversary of that flag. Bob passed away December 12th of last year. There's a tremendous journey and, of course, the destination in that. I'll share with you a little bit about my journey and destination, and then I'll engage you to think about your journey and your destination. So let's begin with Bob. It was interesting to meet Bob Heft. I first met Bob when we had our club at the YMCA. Very, very humble person. I remember sitting next to him, and he was handing out this flyer about a flag that he had put together. I looked at it. I didn't really think much of it. I didn't really know. Until we got over here and I became friends with Bob, and I realized this guy is a celebrity. But he never saw himself as that, in that status. He was, if you will, just Bob. When Bob was here, we'd go around and introduce ourselves, and Bob would say, yeah, I'm Bob Heft, and he'd be waiting for the next person. I go, well, what did you do? We always had to draw it out of him. But here's the part of that journey. As a 17-year-old, he had a class project. And you may or may not know the story, but it's worth sharing again because it is part of the journey of that flag, and of course Bob's journey. Class project. Puts it together, he gets a B- on it. And he kind of kids a little bit because some of the other students brought in their leaf collection and some of the other projects that were done that day or that year. But his teacher said, jokingly, if you can get this flag accepted by the president or by the United States, I'll change your grade to an A. Wow, he's interested. Now he's got something to really look forward to, because that's really all he wanted to do was to get the A. So he spent 2 years, several letters and several calls to politicians, and finally, in 1960, he got a call from the White House. And Bob's flag was accepted as our American flag. Now, there's more to that story, but the part I want to move along here with is that he's happy. He's got his A, so now he's going back to his teacher and say, hey, look, my flag got accepted. So his grade was changed to an A. And when I heard that story, I thought about that because we all have that B- thing in our life. And, you know, Scott, you talked about your journey here and being an entrepreneur. What is it that we get a B- in, or we don't get what we really want, and it almost forces us to do something else, to get the next step, to go to the destination or reset it? And I'm always asking the question, what would have happened if Bob would have gotten an A up front? It changes destiny. But I believe that, and I've had conversations with certain people, it was Bob's deal to complete that. So that, and Bob was a very active member. As a matter of fact, we called Bob Father Time because he was just an active participant in the timing. And we joked about it, but it was Bob's position that he enjoyed. That's one journey and a destination. And whenever you see the flag, just think of the gentleman was born in Saginaw. A little bit about my journey now. I am now the ripe young age of 61 and I'm one of your boomer guys, all right? And expect to live to be a long, way down the road. And as a matter of fact, there's that radio station, B95. That's what I want to be. I want to be 95. All right? So I wear that shirt, and because that's where I'm headed. Plus 5, B95 plus 5. Recently, for those of you that know the story, Kip probably gets tired of hearing it, but that's okay. I found the love of my life. She lives in Brighton, and it's just an amazing story. I wasn't consciously thinking about in another relationship. I thought, I'm done. Well, we can call on God, we can say it's a soul experience, whatever it is, I'm one happy dude in this relationship. And it's part of the journey. My journey up until then was not very good at relationships. And I thought, okay, let's just end this and just go out and put myself into my work. But there was something else in mind for me I'll just say God. That's how I would say that. And it's just changed my life in such a way that the destination is a little different. The journey it's just joyous. And it's really great to be in love. As a matter of fact, I came across a quote by that Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu 5,000-6,000 years ago, and he said that when you are deeply in love, it gives you strength, and when you love deeply, it gives you courage. And I get that. I really get that. So we've got the journey and the destination, and the reason I've entitled it this evening in that way is because sometimes you hear, hey, the journey is more important than the destination, or vice versa. They coexist. They really do. I think sometimes along the journey we do miss some of the important elements of what happened, because everything matters. And I think you said it well in this economic chaos, is that there's change that's happening that needs to happen. However, we're not seeing it that. Sometimes we go, why is this? Why are they doing this? Or why is that going on? It's forcing us to change. So then I bring it out to all of you. Your destination. What's it been like for you in terms of what you want to accomplish? One of the things I've discovered is that life can be tough at times. Do you know that? I mean, have you recognized that yourself? It can be tough. And it's in that, what happens, how do we respond to it? So I want to keep the focus on all of you for a minute in terms of your destination and your journey. Are you clear about what you want? And then are you moving in that direction? And how are things happening? Are they happening the way that you want, or are they happening in a chaotic fashion? Just some things to think about. Because all of us are on this, I think it's a universal. And we come together, and our goal is, I believe, to help one another. Certainly July 4th is about the Declaration of Independence. A declaration. And I think that when we decide to do something, there needs to be a declaration there. I'm also about the declaration of interdependence. How are we interacting with each other, and how are we helping one another? Because I do believe that that's the way we're going to get through this. It's Wayne Dyer's mantra. We get up every day and we go, how may I serve you? How may I serve you? And go out and help people. Because in essence, we're only helping ourselves when we do that. So we do have the Declaration of Independence, and we want that. But what can we do on this universal journey to help all of us get to where we want to go? That's really an important question. It's like the story of the pig and the chicken, and they're going to a breakfast, and it's a ham and egg breakfast. They're walking down this country road, and the chicken looks over at the pig, and the pig is just sweating profusely. And the chicken says to the pig, "Hey, what's going on with you? We're just going to this breakfast, right?" And the pig goes, "Yeah." "It's a ham and egg breakfast." And the chicken goes, "Yeah." And the pig says, "Well, that's the problem. I'm going to give a commitment, and you're just going to give a contribution." So the question to be asked is, are we committed to what we're doing, or are we just giving a contribution? And in any moment, things can change. So take a look at your destination and the journey, and who's there to help you, and who are you there to help as well. Mr.